Hey guys and gals, it's the Cannabis Crone. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning. As you can tell, I'm back inside my studio. We have winter going on, at least in northern Minnesota. Snow's on the ground. We had kind of a little pseudo blizzard the other day, and they're talking about more snow. We'll see what happens. I hope I still have a few snow hikes left in me. I'm not a lover of cold, but I love nature enough to at least want to get out there while it's 30 or above. When we start getting down closer to zero, then I'm going to be doing a lot more of these indoors. But good news on the cannabis front and actually the holistic healing front. According to Ganjapreneur magazine, Perdue Pharma, the manufacturer of Oxycontin, pleaded guilty this week to illegally marketing its opioid products, which we all know are deadly and addictive. As part of its federal settlement, the company faces over $8 billion in penalties. You know, they could probably be pushed to pay a whole lot more, but of course, we live in a capitalist society. So, of course, they're not going to be facing the penalties that they should be facing for the amount of lives that they have completely destroyed. According to Ganjapreneur, Perdue Pharma has pled guilty to illegally pushing its infamous Oxycontin product, faces a potential $8.3 billion in federal penalties. And that was reported by the New York Times. Members of the wealthy Sackler family, write that down, they're the ones that own Perdue Pharma, also agreed to pay $225 million in civil penalties. Prosecutors with the Department of Justice, however, said that further criminal charges against Perdue executives and the Sacklers themselves were not yet off the table. So that's good news, because I know as someone who, I have been on Oxycontin before. I was on also Darvocet and a whole bunch of other pain medications while I was waiting for workman's comp to okay my surgery when I burst 2 discs in my back. I was on painkillers for 8 to 9 months. Now I'm allergic to all painkillers. It did something to my body, so like I can't use any painkillers. So of course that's why I started my journey with cannabis in the first place. And Perdue has been accused of pushing the addictive opioid far too aggressively, and we all have seen this before, with illegal marketing tactics that included financial kickbacks to doctors who overprescribe the drug. So, hopefully this will bring to light some of what's going on with Big Pharma, but unfortunately with everything else in the news, with everything else that's being so insane, it's like, so I just wanted to let you guys know that that's actually good news for people who rely on cannabis, because the more we can neuter these big pharma companies, the more cannabis will become more widely used, because there won't be anything left. People won't be able to take these horrible side effect laden medications. So they'll be turning more to the natural state of things, and that's really important. As always, remember that certain types of sativas high in CBD have been proven to render the COVID virus less effective. A less effective C virus is something that our bodies can more easily fight off. Not to mention the fact that cannabis boosts your endocannabinoid system, which boosts your immune system. So it's definitely something that you should be thinking about adding, And if you don't want to smoke, if you don't want to smoke like those dirty hippies do, then you can also use edibles. You can microdose with tinctures, and you can use alcohol-based tinctures. You can use straight oil. You can use glycerin-based tinctures. There's so many different ways out there to take it now, that you can definitely add it to your diet, and it's going to help you because, if you don't know by now, the C virus is here to stay. And so what we need to do is find a way to be able to live with it. And that would be incorporating things into your diet that will help maintain an immune system so that when it does come along, it's not going to leave you like a lot of us long-termers. We are the people that have these horrible symptoms that carry on over. As I've said before, Andy Parmakai and myself were both infected in March, and so we are still both having these physical problems. My body feels about, ever since being sick in March, my body felt about 20 years older. My lupus symptoms came out more, so I had to kind of deal with those. I was having a lot of trouble breathing. My lungs feel like they're starting to heal now, but all summer long, I was pushing myself to be able to take a hike in the woods or take a walk down the driveway because it was making me out of breath. So I think by continuing exercising and continuing to force my body to move, even though I didn't necessarily want to, I think I was able to get past that hurdle. So now my lungs are feeling a bit better. And, that's something else. A lot of us are without health care now. When I lost my job, I lost my health care because it was tied in, which it shouldn't be. We all know as working class people that we should be getting health insurance regardless. And many of us work hard enough that we deserve it anyway. I mean, when you're working like 50 to 60 hours a week, which I used to, and you have a health insurance that you can't even afford because the co-payments are so high, that's just ridiculous. So, and I had said before, we need to get Trump out of office. But I'm telling you, people, as progressives, we are not stopping, okay? Once Biden and Harris are in office, then the real work starts. Then we got to get us some health care. And we have to start really forcing people to listen to us and listen to what we need, because we make the world go round. It's not the CEOs, sitting up there. And I've heard this, I've seen this in Facebook. I'll just touch on this and then we're done. But I've seen people defend, somebody who's making $1 billion a year as a CEO. Well, they work hard. No, they don't. They don't work hard. They do not work as hard as a teenager who works at McDonald's right now. That teenager is doing a hell of a lot more work than that CEO is, who's sitting on his ass, trying to figure out where his next vacation home is going to be. And yet we value, through the amount of salary, the CEO guy, even though we've proven that those jobs they're not essential. If someone has the title essential in their, this is an essential worker, this is an essential, shelf stalker, this is an essential service person, this is an essential restaurant person, all of these people who are essential, they're not making essential wages, are they? So why is the CEO that's sitting on his ass doing nothing and who we've proven is useless making so much more money than the people that are deemed essential? And why is the stock market doing so well when we are not? There's a big disparity between, how many unemployed right now, myself included, and yet the stock market is doing great. And there are wealth hoarders, which that's what I call the elite now. They're not elite. Fuck them. They're wealth hoarders. They're just as bad as that old man who saves, 100,000 newspapers, except they're just saving $100,000, every day. It's not, anyway. These people, these wealth hoarders, are making money while the rest of us suffer. They're making money during a global pandemic where so many are suffering. That is how capitalism works, people. And if you think it's the only system that we can work with, you're sadly mistaken. We've chosen this. We have chosen this as Americans, and we can choose something different. It's all in the way you vote. And then it's all in the way you keep those voted in accountable. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. Hopefully I'll have a few more videos where I'm outside, but today I just a little chilly and damp out there, so I decided to do it inside. Love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week once it starts, and namaste.